How's it going, guys? This is a special one. This is the second time we've done a Day for Night podcast, and these are always fun. These festival podcasts are always fun. Us going to places, experiencing them, sometimes talking to artists there, and talking about our experiences there. Before we get too far into it, we want to thank everybody at Day for Night for even giving us the opportunity to be there as media and to be able to see this thing.
Shout out to Dutch Small, John Mills McCoyne.
Yeah, everybody. I forget her name.
Rain.
Rain. Yeah, Rain was awesome. Just everybody that works at that works at Day for Night, works at all of these, worked at the post all those post office guys. Everybody that helps us out.
It's a product of a massive collaboration with all these people, these figures in Houston who are all just trying to put on a good show.
So before we get too far into that, just thank you guys for helping us out and for helping us get there. That being said, we had a fucking awesome time.
Amazing.
I mean, Day for Night again. Kind of every year, I feel like they're going to continuously outdo themselves. It was a new location. The lineup I feel was stronger in a lot of ways. Shit, I'm trying to think of some highlights. I mean, Run the Jewels were amazing.
I mean, Aphex Twin, Bjork. I personally love Tycho, Mickey Blanco. Those were amazing performances. One thing I want to say is that I love that. What major complaint that I usually have for festivals is that times for these sets overlap, and while you can only have so many.
There's always going to be overlap.
It's always going to be overlapping. But the thing is, this time around, I didn't really have to stay for an entire set.
No, I saw everyone.
Everybody wanted it, and I could have left, and then still have something to do inside with all the art installations going on. There's always something going on. It was fun.
So obviously, if you're a complete idiot and you don't know what we're talking about, Day for Night is a brand new music festival to Houston. It's in its second year, and what for me sets it apart from any other festival is that it combines both. You're gonna get your bands, you're gonna get your fucking music, of course, but you get these crazy art installations, and not just paintings on the wall, but I'm talking massive warehouse sized art installations, and they're fucking surreal to be in. I mean, they're beautifully programmed.
I mean, I've never seen anything like it in terms of art.
Where do you even begin to make something like that?
I've been to Museum of Fine Arts, and I've been to I've seen art. I've been to art shows. I've never seen anything like I've seen.
There's something there's something about walking through an art piece, when you're
so immersive,
to be a part of it. So if you didn't go, you fucked up. Obviously, I mean, I'm sure. It's now 2 weeks after it, I think, and no one has shut the fuck up about it. Still, it's only a week. God, so much has happened in a week. So this particular episode, we're going to focus a little more on some artists that played. I'm not going to really talk about, we're not going to waste your time talking about our experience there. We are sure that you went. Instead, we're going to leave you with us having some interviews there. We did do some interviews, obviously by the title, who we talked to already. But we wanted to get, really kind of have a nice balance between some local cats that maybe are our friends, but also just, are killing it in the local scene, are kind of the epitome of Houstonians that are kind of making it right now. And have a nice mix of that with, a nice national act or someone who came into town is experiencing this for the first time, and maybe even experiencing Houston in this kind of realm for the first time. So with that, we had Fat Tony and Kam Franklin, who are always great. They're the nicest people, and they're really good friends. So it made sense to have them on at the same time. That's a great podcast. So this is going to start with that one, with our interview with them. This is all out of the media room, which is a comfortable little media lounge. Dutch made it really nice this year. We were nice and comfy there, hanging out, talking. And then the second one we're going to do is with Brian Chippendale from Lightning Bolt. And if anybody knows, we talk about it all the time. We're drummers. We love drums. Drums. That's, I can sit here and fucking go on all day about how I love drums. You also know that we're trying to knock out, we have this bucket list of drummers. And sometimes I forget that there's actually more people on this list than, Brian is on that list. He's one of my favorite drummers of all time. And I'm not even saying that. Lightning Bolt, when I first heard Lightning Bolt and that whole kind of realm of music, the Zach Hills, the Brian Chippendales, I didn't even know that kind of drumming existed. That changed shit. It was oh, you can play like this? That's actually something you can do? Whoa, okay.
Just some gnarly, raw ass, it just, I don't even.
I did not expect to talk to him this weekend, so it was another pleasant surprise, just like this Dizza podcast we just did. So those are our two podcasts that you're going to hear. I'm going to have some timestamps in this info so you can kind of see where they are in case you want to skip through. I would highly suggest just not doing that because they're both really good. Kam and Fat Tony are super fucking wise and have some really cool wise words. And of course, Brian can can talk. I love Brian. I love that he has a lot to say.
I'm just so thanks. Shout out to him. He was just so down to do it. We got in contact with him. It was like through Twitter.
Yeah, it was just a tweet, and it got later in the day, like 2 hours after their set.
It happened on site. This whole thing.
Yeah, he tweeted me like, "Where are you at?" And I'm like, "Oh shit!" I told Jink, "Come back upstairs." Like,
I remember you walking up with him, and I was just like, "Oh shit, this is fucking happening. Let's do it."
Yeah,
I remember your face. You were rocking in front of me. You looked at me. You're like, "Let's do it. Let's fucking do this shit."
I was so happy. I was just so happy to get this guy because if you had asked me who do you want on, Lightning Bolt would have been right there in top 3.
Actually, I forgot to mention their performance too. They've actually been my favorite. They fucking killed, man. And
they stole the day from me.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
We're gonna probably try to go over the festival in length, maybe not in length, but some of the performances that were highlights in other further podcasts. But for this one, we really wanted to just kind of keep it, down to our actual experience there talking to people, because I feel like that's really kind of the meat of it.
Yeah.
And the first thing you're going to hear is Kam and Fat Tony. The second thing is Brian Chippendale from Lightning Bolt. Again, thanks for everybody for being involved. Kam, Fat Tony, we love you. Brian, we're going to have him on as soon as they get back into town. I can't wait. And we'll have him with other Brian, bass Brian.
Yeah.
And again, thanks to everybody at Day for Night, Dutch, John, Mills McCoy, fucking just everyone, dude. Yeah, everyone. They put such an amazing event. I know they're all probably goddamn exhausted. Before we do get to this though, I wanted to at least touch on it because it's like it's huge for me and just for the podcast, us being Star Wars fans and us being huge nerds. Just yesterday, Carrie Fisher passed away, and like it's almost hard to say. Like this was the first death for me this year that really, really got to me. Like really got to me.
I thought I could get away with the year with kind of being okay. Like, of course, it was tragic when David Bowie passed, and
we lost a lot, man. We lost Muhammad Ali this year.
Muhammad Ali,
Gene Wilder. I mean, there's been a lot. I mean, even Kenny Baker, R2D2 died earlier this year.
It hurt a little bit more too, just because it was a little drawn out. We found out that she had a heart attack. On the day before Christmas Eve, and then I thought she was gonna pull through. We heard some news about her being stabilized, and it just was sudden. The whole thing was so sudden.
So just to kind of touch on that. For me, Carrie Fisher was so important for so many reasons. I mean, obviously, she's one of 3 of, I think, the best heroes ever. I mean, I really would like someone to argue with me about a better hero than any of those 3. And she was the girl. She was the girl who was just a princess. She was your pretty princess, but was so much more than that, obviously. She was a rebel. She was a badass. I mean, if we're just talking about Princess Leia as a character, and right now we just are, Princess Leia is... I mean, maybe the strongest female character of all time.
It's a groundbreaking role just because she wasn't... I mean, it's crazy because she did play the damsel in distress in that first one, but she ended up like being the one to get them out of that fucking Death Star. Like
she was always very much like, I don't need your help.
Yeah, I don't need your help.
Kind of thing.
Just open the door. I'll take care of the rest. Like
But then Carrie Fisher as well was such a champion for so many things. After Star Wars, she fell into drug addiction during too. She had a lot of mental health issues that were openly, she documented them. She wrote about them. She was quite literally a feminist icon, and you don't get more feminist than that, and it's a huge loss for not only Star Wars fans and nerds, but just feminism and mental health awareness. Yeah, it's fucking awful. I spent a good hour just kind of sobbing and listening to Leia's theme and reading about her, and
that's what got me. Her theme song. And by the way, if you're a Star Wars fan and you haven't listened to that song recently, just
try.
Take
see how far you can get into that song before you break down. So, I mean, not that they're listening, but our condolences to the whole Fisher/Reynolds family, because now I know Debbie Reynolds is also in the hospital, apparently with a stroke, and it just seems like they're going through a really hard time. I don't know if you could argue that it came at a worse time, at a best time for Carrie, because this was her coming back and showed everyone that she was still a badass, still was able to make movies, still just as sharp as ever. But I think that's just it, is that it seemed like she had so much more living to do, and it's just hard to lose her. So before we get into this, we just wanted to talk about that and just talk about how sad and sorry we are. And and that I'm gonna fucking miss Carrie Fisher, man.
Yeah.
I'm gonna miss her.
those crazy ass tweets of hers too, and
they're so hard to decipher.
Yeah.
Yeah, and she knows how to write. She's a fucking author. No reason for her to write like that other than just her getting a kick out of it.
And I like all the different accounts people have been saying they've shared experiences they had with her, and sometimes she doesn't say a word, but they have like the most magical experiences.
My favorite one is where she offered someone a cookie. And I'm like, would you like one of these cookies? And then she's like, no, I'm fine. And she waves her hand. And she goes, you want a cookie? He's like, I could not take the cookie.
Yeah.
So it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard without her. It's gonna be really hard to see her. And episode 8, she will be there.
She will be there. She
did finish filming, and we'll see what happens.
Wait, before we go, what was your favorite Leia moment?
My favorite Leia moment of all time. You bringing up her choking Jabba made me. That's probably it. But since you're probably gonna say that, I'll think of another one. I really like. I love you. I know. I love the dynamic of that situation. I love how they both knew exactly what the other one meant. No one was offended. I mean, a little less, maybe less. I'm a girl and I love you kind of thing. Maybe a more badass moment. Her entire indoor battle, like her on indoor going hard with the Ewoks.
I think one a good moment for me, besides the Jabba choking to death scene, was when they first rescued her, and then she just kind of was like, "What kind of rescue is this?" And she takes the gun, shoots that vent open, and then that's when you learn, like, oh, okay, she's not just a princess, like
yeah. All right, guys, we're out of here. Listen to this podcast. It's gonna be a lot of fun. Kam Franklin, Fat Tony, and Brian Chippendale. What more could you ask for? We've got some exciting shit coming up. We'll talk about it. We're planning it.
Sure.
But until then, have fun with this, and we're out of here. See you later. Thank you guys for agreeing to sit with us. You guys both played in some capacity. You played on Friday. And you DJ. Yeah, you did a DJ set. You played yesterday.
Yeah, I played yesterday. It was sick.
So just first things first, thanks for agreeing to sit with us. We love you. We love you guys. You guys are homies.
And also welcome back to the podcast.
And welcome back.
Yes.
Just to kind of get started, because now we don't have too much time. How has it been so far? Have you guys had fun this weekend? Or
I had a blast. Run into a lot of old friends, made a lot of new friends, seen some really amazing art.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I feel like I'm gonna leave here very inspired, more inspired than I was when I came.
How important is it for you guys to be from the city, to make music in the city, and then to be invited to be a part of something like this, or that's even happening in the first place? But how important is it for you guys as artists for this to be happening and to be a part of it?
I like playing something like this because I know that the right kind of audience is going to be here. You know what I mean? Day for night. I mean, first of all, just playing a festival in your hometown is cool, but it really can be whatever because it doesn't guarantee that it's going to be great, right?
Yeah.
But what's really good about this festival is I think that it caters to people like myself, people like Kam, people like y'all, and people like me and Kam's fans. People that are more into the arts, people that are more open-minded tend to come to this festival over like Austin city limits.
Right.
So it means a lot that I'm playing for an audience that I know for the most part we're on the same page.
Isn't it? It's kind of strange too, right? Because we are in our hometown. And there's people flying in.
Yeah.
It's a huge national event. It's really kind of
people came in from everywhere. Friends of mine from Mexico City came. People from LA came.
Yeah.
I know a woman from Berlin that's here. Like, this is the hottest shit going on right now in the world, music festival wise.
Yeah.
I think it's very important. Houston's one of these cities that people that are from here know the potential, but a lot of Houstonians even don't know what the full potential of the city is.
Right.
And I think it took something like Day for Night, not only stepping out of the box, but showing that this could be executed in a way that has never been done before anywhere. Like, I think people here need to see that so that they know that the reason your art's not doing what you want it to do, maybe your music's not doing what you want it to do, it's not because you're not capable of doing more. You might be limited because what you see around you is the best you've ever seen.
Sure, that's a good point.
But with Day for Night, they're bringing in the best in the world. And for us as local artists to be even mentioned in the same breath as some of the stuff I've seen this weekend, it's very amazing and humbling at the same time. But at the same time, I also think it shows other artists here in Houston that this is something that they could aspire to.
Yeah.
If they're not there yet. Like, I don't like when festivals don't incorporate any type of local aspect to it, because to me, if you're gonna take up taxes and time and energy, why not give back?
Yeah.
Not saying that Tony and I are at that level, because we both tour internationally and have worked our asses to be here. But it's just, say if you're a first-year band or second-year band and you get on something like this, like, it's a milestone that I hope other acts realize is not to be taken lightly.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Hey, everything Kam just said is super real. if you listen to this, you should rewind it and take notes. Straight up.
Who are you guys here to see? I mean, obviously you're not just here to perform.
Everybody.
Man, what? First of all, nigga, I'm blown away that I just saw Jesus and Mary Chain.
Oh, yeah.
Dude.
I saw Bjork in the building. My homeboy danced with Bjork backstage at
Really?
Apex Twins set. I just saw Ariel Pink. We about to see Mickey Blanco.
Oh, yeah. I'm going down there to see him,
This
too.
is lit.
Lightning Bolt just blew me the fuck away.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
they're
this whole festival is sick. The whole lineup sick. It's new artists, old artists. Like, it's everything you want. It's rap. It's punk. It's club music.
I didn't get to see it, but I saw some video of John Carpenter playing synth
Yeah, I missed
to like his own shit.
It's a movie.
I
What?
was like,
What kind of
What?
What is
Yeah,
that?
yeah. He played like just like songs from like different movies of
yeah,
his or
but
whatever.
he was like playing the
And you-
scores.
Yeah,
You said that he played the
opened-
Halloween.
Yeah, he played the Halloween theme song.
Yeah.
and
That's amazing.
Had the scenes going
But
behind
this
him.
happened during both Run the Jewels
and
Apex
Apex
Yeah.
Twin.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
And I love that it happened while it was like 78 degrees outside at the beginning of the set. And by the end of the set, it was in the freaking
man.
40s.
I felt that first breeze come through, man. It just
Hard.
chilled.
No, like on stage, because I walked to Run the Jewels because we had started at Apex and we were like, okay, let's go watch
Yeah,
a little
exactly
bit of
what
Run
I
the
did.
Jewels and we'll come back. And then that breeze started hitting, and my friend's not from here.
Uh-huh.
I was like, oh no, it's about to get cold.
Yo,
And he was
fuck.
like, he goes, no, it's just a breeze. I go,
Nope.
nigga, this ain't Chicago. It's about to get cold.
For all the people out there in Radio Land, last night was really fucked up. Houston has terrible climate change. It was literally like 70 degrees at the
was
beginning of
within
Apex Twin
10
set.
minutes.
And in the
Yeah.
middle of his set, it
70
went to 40
70
degrees.
extremely hot
and
and
rain.
humid.
Yeah. What? Did you really do something at Whataburger?
Yes, I did. And yo, Radio
I
Land,
brought Win
I'm
Butler
really
last
sorry.
night.
I'm really sorry. Me and Kam sound like Miles Davis right now. We both super hoarse.
We do.
But yeah, last night, you know, after my set, I told the crowd to come to Whataburger. Kam Franklin pulled up with Win Butler from Arcade Fire.
No, you
It was
didn't.
maybe 30 homies in there, and we were just eating. I tried to stand on the table and play
yelled
some
at it.
music. The Whataburger staff yelled at me
Are you
and
serious?
literally pushed me out the door, but I didn't tell my lawyer. And then I got on top of a truck and I just threw out merch for like 5-10 minutes.
I thought that you were trolling. I was like,
I
oh,
would
he's
never
not
troll
really
the
going
I
to
Houston
know
people. Are
Whataburger
you
was
serious?
lit, and they knew because they left the dining room open. The dining
Yeah.
room's not open all night.
Oh,
Come on, man.
They
You know how we do.
anticipated it.
They
Do you-
did anticipate.
Shout
it.
out to the Whataburger Third War. You know how we get it.
That
They
is
had to
so
show love.
Is that your favorite restaurant? I mean, I know you like incorporate them with
It
your
ain't my
merch. like-
favorite restaurant,
Favorite.
but it's my go-to fast
Shit goes-
food.
okay, yeah.
Like if I'm gonna do fast food, that's in my top 2.
Yeah.
I know that there's a lot of people here that are peers of you guys and maybe look up to you guys. What advice do you have to some of the aspiring musicians that are here looking at you guys as kind of a glimmer of hope, considering you both have these huge things going on? You've just been announced as the Sufferers are now going to be on the Super Bowl. Like, was it the festival, I guess, with ZZ Top? I mean, like,
I'm gonna play too.
That's true. You are. I noticed that you
Surprise,
were.
bitch.
It's a surprise.
Both of you guys. So both of you. Yeah, my bad. I don't know how I forgot about that. Are with these things going on? I mean, what advice do you give to people that are like, how do you get there? How do we do it? Other than
Man.
just work hard and keep it up.
My biggest advice to any artist at whatever level they at, whether you a total amateur or you a Grammy winner or whatever, the best advice I think, totally outside of the normal working
Sure.
hard, smart, learn, work it like it's a job, obviously, be a professional. But my best advice is don't believe your own hype.
Yep.
I think when you believe your own hype, that's when you start to fall off. And by saying that, I mean with every achievement, look at it as a stepping stone to the next one, no matter how grand that achievement is. If it's an MTV award, try to get a Grammy. If you're playing Day for Night, try to play Austin City Limits. If you play the U.S., try to play Canada. If you play Canada, try to play Europe. Like, always try to one up yourself.
Yep, I agree. I mean, the best advice that's ever been given to me was just to keep the people close to me that always tell me the truth, and not the people close to me that, again, try to make you believe that everything that the people that loved you after you became something is true. Like, believing the hype, like Tony said, is detrimental to your career.
Yeah.
And so I always try to keep people around me that knew me before all of this started. And if I hire people afterwards, like, they have to know who I am, and that there's a big difference between the sassy person that you see on stage and the person that will, like, talk shit with you in a real life situation.
I guess honesty becomes more valuable the higher you go up. I mean, you get a lot of yes men, people who want to be close to you just because of, of where you are.
Man, it's just better to have people around that are honest and want to see you be your best. You know what I mean? Like, like any of my friends that do anything in the arts, we're like really supportive of each other, one, but we're also critical of each other in a way to better each other. Like, not to be like, no like shade or no hate.
But you're artists, you're creating.
Say I play a concert and some friends of mine that also play concerts are there. I'm going to ask them, hey, do you have any points for me? Any tips? Like, what you think? You know?
Yeah. No,
I think keeping that mindset is really important because it keeps you ready to grow. I think it's important to always feel like your next best thing is around the corner, because I feel like once you feel like you have made it, the only way to go is down.
Kind of keeps you on your feet.
Yeah.
So I know it's been kind of a shitty year for a lot of people. A lot of shitty things happen. I personally had a pretty good year.
Prince died. That
but
really sucked.
I think the
Prince
world
died.
has had kind of a dark
Bowie
year.
died.
Yeah, everyone
Yeah,
died.
Bowie died. He was so trill too.
So coming towards the end of the year now, this is kind of the way that I was. To me now, this is how I'm going to finish off the year, is Day for Night. That's going to be one of the last things I do, probably the last party I have. So I think it's important to kind of look back in a more positive way. So what are some highlights for you personally, good or bad highlights from this year that you kind of reflect on?
I had a lot of great highlights. I started a monthly party in Mexico City where I don't even speak the language. I went to Europe for the first time, played a art show in Berlin. It was amazing. I got the Idea Fund grant from the Andy Warhol Foundation to make an incredible zine called Found Me that's coming out in a couple months.
Amazing.
And many, many more things. And, even with all the bad stuff that happened this year, I don't mean to sound like a fucking hippie or too optimistic or nothing, but I think everything bad that happened is low-key a good thing, from like Trump winning to our heroes dying and tons of atrocities around the world that happened this year. I think all of this is going to give us the energy to work harder and create the next best thing.
That's powerful. How about you, Kam? Anything from this year?
I mean, I definitely have to agree with him. I mean, as far as the art is considered, I feel like a lot of people are really angry right now. Mm-hmm. And so I think the best art is yet to come, because there's some really fucked up stuff happening right now. And some of the best music that's ever existed came forth because people were fucking the world up.
Yeah. Take a look at the Reagan era for the punk music.
Yeah. As far as personal just achievements this year, I mean, my biggest thing that came out this year was my first album with the Suffers. I mean, that was a record we worked on after work without realizing it would ever be a record for almost 4 years, and only to realize we didn't have a way to release it and have a shit ton of people that loved us contribute to a Kickstarter to make it happen. We did more TV. We did Kimmel and Daily Show and Bluegrass Underground, and went to Paris and Japan for the first time and realized that there's people that don't know English that know our music. And
wow,
one of the biggest achievements that actually I'd say happened a Day for Night. Yesterday I was on my way to Apex Twin, like rushing, like sneaking blunts with my friends and just on that perfect like zone, ready to go. And this like black dude walks up to me and he's like hype, like Kam, and I can't, like, I can barely speak right now because it was so fucking loud yesterday. But he's talking to me. He's like, I love your band, whatever. And a part of me realized for a moment that I wasn't really like hearing him because I was so in a zone to go to Apex. And he goes, I need to tell you something. I was like, yo, what's up? He goes, I want to thank you. And I was like, oh, shit. Let me stop.
Oh,
It's good. It's good. Here it
Like,
goes.
and I'm like that. Like, I'm like, it's about to get real. He goes, I just want to say thank you for being weird, black, and successful.
Fuck yeah.
Because he's like, it lets me know that I can be a weird, black musician in Houston and get out of here and come back home if I want to. And I was like,
Fuck yeah.
I like that.
and then I just started crying because like I'm PMSing and I'm stoned.
Yes.
Like it's just too
Just
much.
get all emotional. Yeah.
Yes, let's
It's
go.
too much.
That's beautiful, man. That's got to mean a lot to hear something like that.
Yeah, because I mean everything I hear all the time. You know, you'd be more successful if you lived in New York. You know, you'd be more successful if you live in LA. And I understand that. Like I'm a big networker.
Yeah.
I understand the importance of taking time in those cities and existing in those cities for a little bit. But for me to not get caught up in my own shit, I have to be here. Like, I need my mom to be like, you ain't shit. Like,
Yeah.
go clean these dishes, you know. Or my friends to be like, why are you late?
Yeah.
Like, oh, you think you superstar with us too? Like, I need those interactions. Not every day. Not all the time.
Not every day.
Sure.
Not every day.
But you need it.
Every other day is cool. You know?
Yeah, you know.
Do you ever see either one of you ever see yourself kind of moving away from the city and picking up somewhere else, or do you?
Oh, totally.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Hell
absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm about to move in like a few days.
He be moving like every fucking like
Well,
twice
that,
a year.
you know, but you always come back.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
like that. I like being in different places. I feel like the world is so big. Like one of the best parts about being an artist is I get to travel and I get to live different
See all
places
these
at
different,
a
yeah,
time
that's amazing.
for not just for me, but for work. You know what I mean? Like I can set my life up so I can work in a certain city for like months just because I would like to live there. You know?
Yeah.
That's a great thing, and I think everybody should take advantage of it and get out of wherever they're at. I think people should try to see as much of the world as
exactly.
they can and experience everything.
So as an artist, when do you know when it's time to do that? Like, is it after you built a following where you are, or
I feel like you'll
I did
know.
it from day one.
day one?
I feel like
travel?
you
I never
know.
left anywhere. Like I never went on a plane when I was a kid. My parents never left Texas. I maybe left
Yeah.
Houston, I think, twice. I went to San Antonio on a field trip, and then I went to Fort Worth for a funeral.
Yeah, I think that's advice that a lot of Houston artists can use too, because I know a lot of them, they've built a name here, but they're still they're struggling to find, or I don't know if they're trying to find time, but they need to put energy into other places, other cities, other scenes, and stuff like that. So
Just
yeah,
go.
just go.
Don't be afraid to fail, because you're gonna fail
Right.
a few times, maybe more than that.
Yeah.
But the thing is like, for every failure, for everything that makes you not want to do this job anymore, there's 1,000 things that are the reasons as to why you should stay.
Exactly.
Like, he'll tell you, I stopped doing music for years to be fake married and sad with my broken
So what?
leg and shit. And
What a lame lifestyle, being domesticated.
I had a good job.
What?
Probably had an office job.
I
right?
did.
Yeah.
I'd come out like twice a year, get blackout drunk, and stunk on Anthony.
That ain't fun.
Remember that time I threw you a birthday party?
Yes.
I was like, he's like, I never had a birthday party. I was like, we gonna have one tonight.
That's gonna change.
Oh my
No,
God.
but like, one of the best things that ever happened to me, I think, was hurting myself and not doing music anymore for a few years, because I got to see my friends get successful as I stayed stagnant,
Yeah, and it hurt.
and it almost ruined me.
Yeah.
And I was like, this isn't where I'm supposed to be. And I'd see photos of him and our friend Osley all over the damn world doing music, and I started before them, and I was like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah.
Like, is this what I want to do?
Am I wasting
Do I
my
want to
time?
be somebody's mama or wife before I'm ready? Or do I want to go out there and see if I can do it too?
But you persevered. And
So
you persevered.
I did what I needed to do.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
So looking forward now into 2017, what
Yeah.
are some things that you guys are excited about?
Yeah, especially you're in critical moments of your
Yeah.
careers. Yeah.
Yeah,
What's next?
doing my first.
just-
You go first.
Just going back to what we were talking about earlier about how a lot of people feel that this year sucked. I'm really looking forward to all the art people make.
To
in
using
the
that,
next
yeah,
year.
sure.
Music, film, TV, books. I'm ready to see people create something amazing, especially people that have been less heard than others in the media, you know.
Yep.
Absolutely.
You know, black people, trans people, everybody all over the world that's been disenfranchised. Now's the time to really step up and make something.
Yeah.
I completely agree. As far as 2017 is concerned, you know, I think this year was shitty so that I will appreciate 2017.
True.
Right.
And I
got
think
blessings
that's
on
very
blessings on
important
blessings
too,
coming.
to have the polar opposites of like something not going well and then going really well. And
life
like
can't always
music.
be good.
Yeah.
Right.
It can't.
That doesn't always happen, but like some of my best songs I made when I was not having a good time.
Yeah, this some years like this are necessary.
Well, listen, guys, I don't want to keep you for too much longer. I know we got some shit to do and people to see.
Yeah, for sure.
But thank you so much, and thank you for the continued inspiration and being badasses and being friendly and just being amazing and being homies. So
we're watching every step.
Yeah,
so.
absolutely, guys. We'll see you guys around.
Thank y'all.
Thanks so
Somebody
much.
made me cry.
Okay, so here we are for a surprise. This is a surprise interview for me. Because
strung together in the last 15 minutes.
I hit you up a little late and not in the most conventional way.
Well, I got an email that I ignored. I'll be honest. There was some email that came in and I ignored it.
It's from this guy because he doesn't know how to send an email.
But I didn't mean to. I've been ignoring. I mean, I was ignoring basically every email. Like what time we're supposed to load in, I ignored that. What time our set is, I ignored that.
So someone sent your emails too, and they got.
Yeah. So.
Okay, cool. Feel too bad.
I took no offense whatsoever. You're here now.
But then Twitter, I mean, I feel like a jerk when people email me and I don't answer them, and then they tweet at me and I do. Like, it seems kind of wrong.
You're like,
but I guess that's,
what's the easier method then?
I know.
Yeah.
You can't hide on Twitter,
dude.
You're like using it, and people know you're using it. So
right.
There's nowhere to hide.
Dude, first of all, let me just do this. We've had this kind of thing, me and him, since we started this podcast about having our favorite drummers on. We're both drummers.
Oh, cool.
So I've had, we've knocked out kind of the big ones in my opinion. I've had Brendan Canty on,
John Clardy.
We had John Clardy from Terramellos.
Andrew Forsman.
Thomas Pridgeon, Andrew Forsman from Fall of Troy. Kind of knocking out the ones that I kind of grew up with.
Whoa.
And there's only a couple left, and those are John Theodore, Zach Hill.
Yeah.
And then you. You were the one that was those are the three that are left for me.
Killer.
To
That's good company.
I don't absolutely. I don't know really how to put it into words other than growing up 10 years ago and listening to these Lightning Bolt records and watching Power Style and Milkshake. I mean, all these things were so formative for me as a drummer and someone who was like kind of an unconventional drummer. I don't know how to play drums. I taught myself.
Yeah. Welcome to the club.
I have no idea what I'm doing. Some people are like, oh, the timing's like it's in this. I have no fucking idea what that means for the most part.
People play the metronomes. That's alien to me. Like, oh yeah, just play the metronome, man, or play to this count, or it's on this count. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
You were the loudest person in the world. Let me turn you down.
Well, turn me down, dude.
Okay.
Sound guy.
Hey, someone's got to be the loudest.
Yeah. So right. So when I found you guys out, it was like, holy shit, this guy.
Like, wait, we can suck and kind of be good.
I can jam. I can, there's no real room for me to feel like I have to just play everything that everyone else is playing or sound like everyone else. I always felt like you were really just playing what was coming out. And
awesome. Yeah. That's good. If we're gonna be an influence, that's where I'd like to be.
Dude, and then the records. I mean, the Lightning Bolt records are so important to me and just so loud and beautiful and fast and energetic and just works so well with my ADHD personality that I'm like cleaning the fucking house, smoking a bowl, listening to Lightning Bolt. Jesus Christ!
In the toilet.
Turning to each other when the fucking fill comes in, like right here, dude. Here we go. Going off.
Amazing. So, just to start this off, it is an honor to have you on this show and to be able to talk to you.
It's amazing.
Jeez,
thank you.
I'm paralyzed.
Especially an hour after you just completely blew me away.
Yeah.
I'm used to seeing you guys on the floor.
Yeah, right.
And I know you guys are used to being on the floor. Yeah. So my first question, because I've always been curious about this, is that something that you always try to do, even at places like this? Like, can we play on the floor? Is that the first question when you're getting booked?
Not all the time. It was for many years, but in the last maybe, I don't know. We came to this point where we started to question like our aesthetic, like it.
Right.
I mean, I was the most adamant about playing on the floor for years.
Right.
Like I would fight anybody, just be like, we're playing on the floor. I don't care, blah 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 blah, anything. I'll like, this is what we do.
Yeah.
But then like, I don't know. It's almost like the complaints started piling up on the other side. Like, this person can't see us and that person can't. So I started to feel the weight of the kind of the alternate argument, which is that like there is a purpose for stages. when the crowd is really big, like
They're kind of imperative.
yeah, and when and then people talk about there's like this boys club in the front, and they're all just like, fighting, and then it kind of alienates anyone that's not like young and male or something. That like they get kind of pushed out of the So what started as like this kind of inclusive thing started to become like a weirdly exclusive, which was kind of the dark side of that stuff. And it's just because we got like a little too big for that thing. So now we just approach it space by space. So like if we walk into a space and we're like, this space, like it used to be like we're playing on the floor no matter what. And now it's like we'll play on the floor if it makes sense and we think the audience will actually have a better experience with us on the floor.
Right.
But yeah, like a fest like this, we talked to them for a minute about it, but we're not on tour. We don't have our own stuff. We're like borrowing their shit.
Oh,
They can't it's not like we can set up ahead of time with that. We have to you have like a 20-minute changeover. It just was too hard.
That wasn't your kit?
Yeah.
Was
not
that,
my kit.
Not
no.
your kit.
That was the first thing you noticed. It's like, oh, he's got a new kit.
I was like, he's got a new kit.
Oh God, no. No, my kit would have been covered with shit and like.
That's what I thought.
That's
holes
still.
and stuff.
That's exactly what I was like. I'm not used to seeing him with like
No, I was
pristine
like
cymbals.
I'm like literally at the end of actually but the cymbals are my cymbals.
Oh,
So
those
they
were
are-
your cymbals.
Yeah, the
Well,
cymbals.
shit,
are
I'm
mine.
an asshole then.
Kick
there you
pedal.
go.
They're not
Yeah.
as glistening as they might. The lights are pretty crazy up there. Everything was kind of glistening.
I'm used to you used to have like a trash setup and at one point, the little yeah.
There's been everything cycled through. Kick
Yeah.
pedal was mine. Sticks.
Okay.
I mean,
Well,
but
shit.
I'm at the end. Like I was like I ordered a bunch of new sticks and they didn't come, so I was literally like duct tape stick, just like the shittiest. I'm like playing this like nicer kit with like the shittiest sticks and like everything's just crumbling around me.
I love
with
the-
like a wind chill of 20 degrees,
yeah.
Arctic blast like hitting me in the back.
That's what happened. I was telling you, that's what happened last night with Run the Jewels.
I know.
What were we talking about before we started that we wanted to get back on? Bjork.
Oh, the Bjork.
Oh,
Bjork,
yeah.
I want to hear
Bjork
about
is
that.
playing in a potted plant tonight. You were saying she's like hiding.
Essentially.
A potted plant. Yeah, that sounds like it. Yeah.
She's hiding in a potted plant.
She's doing a DJ set, but when she did it on Friday, because she did one on Friday as well,
Yeah.
she was just, I mean, it looked like she was covered by ferns.
Yeah, it's like a bunch of foliage in front of her.
Is she
kind of
elevated?
dressed like a plant.
No.
I mean, that you saw
Oh,
that
there
the
was a
blue
stage.
stage was inside is kind of low.
Yeah.
And she's,
Oh, so she's on blue
she's
stage.
a tiny
Yeah.
person. Yeah, she's
Yeah.
on blue stage.
But there's pillars and shit like on
Right,
either
right.
side. It's kind of hard to see.
Either
but
way,
yeah.
I've never seen Bjork, but you've worked with Bjork, and that wasn't something that I wasn't aware of
Yeah.
before you told me that.
Yeah, we just did one little thing. I got it. I don't know. I was on Volta. I was on Volta, and then I was on whatever the last one was, like as a bonus track on the CD. So I'm on 2 songs. But for Volta, she had like finished basically the whole record. I don't remember what year that was, 2008 or 9 or something. I don't remember when Volta came out. But and then I guess she wanted some live drummers at the she like just to like change some texture on it or something. So she contacted somehow her people got in touch with me and this guy Chris Corsano, who's this amazing sort of free jazz drummer.
Mm-hmm.
And so I went down to New York, and when she was in New York, and went to the studio, and I'd never met her or anything.
Right.
It was like she was this sort of ethereal,
Yeah.
mystical.
It's
in
kinda
a way.
alien, right? It's
mystical.
just-
It's almost like, is she real?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's like an illusion that
Almost like a Prince-like quality,
Kind
where you're
of.
like, is
Wow,
that person
okay.
real? Are they a
Mythic.
character? Yeah.
mythic. I mean, she like sung at the Olympics and shit. Like you don't just
The
Yeah.
World
Opera.
Games. Yeah.
Yeah. But anyway, so I went, and I mean, I remember I walked in the room, the recording studio, and there was like a bunch of people, and I was like, hi,
Yeah.
is Bjork here? And it's like, it's not Bjork, it's like Björk. It's kind of like an E-ish sound.
Okay,
like
there's
it's
that accent
actually-
over the O. Is that what that is?
Yeah, so I just like, and then she turns around and she's right in the front.
Shit.
And it was her birthday, but she was super friendly. And then I went in and I sort of just like slathered shit over all of the songs. And then on this one song called the Dull Flame of Desire, which is a duo with her and Anthony from I don't remember his last name. Anthony and the Johnsons. Anthony,
know.
he's like this deep voiced, kind of amazing singer. And it was this one song I did like this slow build on. So it's like, it doesn't sound remotely like me. It's like,
Okay.
I call it like my Peter Gabriel moment. 'cause
Yeah.
It's like kind of like world rhythms, like boom, 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 boom,
Okay,
boom,
yeah.
on like a floor tom.
Sure.
And then I got on the record, and I was a little bit like, it was bittersweet. It was like, whoa, I'm on a Bjork record, but I'm playing something that like anybody could play.
I see.
And it was just like an improv. I just happened to play that thing. And then she made another song called Natura, which was her like messing around with a bunch of my more crazy drums from that session. And so that's like a cool, weird song.
Is there ever a part of you that, I know that in a lot of, to people who maybe don't think a lot, you are the crazy drummer. That's the crazy drummer. Like, there's the guy, he's playing crazy drums.
Right.
Do you ever get any kind of offers from people that are like, can you come be the crazy drummer? I
get less. I guess in a weird way, sometimes I'm like, I get less than I think I would or something.
Okay.
I think maybe because, just recently there's this band called The Body, which is this really heavy band who's used to be from Providence. Now they're out. They live in Portland, Oregon. But I came in and I played, just like a couple weeks ago, I went and played on some of their stuff. But at the end of the day, they were like, yeah, it's a little too crazy drummer. It's like a little too Brian Chippendale or something. I think like, so, because they're really like methodical and like, it's like this dark, it's almost like my drums are too like happy in this weird way. Like it just didn't work very well. I think I'm like, there's a little fraction of me. But yeah, I don't know. I don't get, I feel like, I live in Rhode Island. I live in Providence, Rhode Island, and I think a lot of that stuff is like, we want to do a thing like who's around, who's available.
Okay.
And I'm like up in the Snow Kingdom, just sitting on the beach or whatever I do.
Yeah.
So I get less. I don't get that much.
I know that, and I ask that because I know a lot of bands tend to get boxed in, and then they're kind of left in that box, and people want to see them in that box.
Crazy drummer box.
Exactly. Or even in like, for instance, the math rock box, which is super annoying to me. And we, when we talk to Taramellos, who
are considered like pioneers,
kind of pioneers of
that genre,
the genre, quote unquote, they were telling us that it's not even real. They're like, it is not even real. So
we got kicked out of the math rock box.
I was gonna ask, yeah. So I know
we were in that box for a little while, and then they were like, wait a minute, these guys can't even count. They like booted us out.
They gave you the.
We landed in like I actually, it was a joke years ago with the guys from Hella, but like us and Hella had this very short fight. It was like maybe for like 2 months.
Really?
Yeah, a long time ago. And actually, it was the only other time I've played a fucking freezing show, and it was way colder. So years ago, Hella was coming to Providence, and I was psyched. We played Hella. Literally, I think one of their very first shows was opening up for us in Sacramento years ago at this house show. It was like 2000 or something. And there was this band Hella, these two dudes like playing crazy stuff, and they were super nice, like super chill, just the best guys.
Right.
And a few years later, they had like a couple albums out, and they're starting to become more notorious. And they came through Providence, and they get there, and they're playing like at a mill nearby to my house, and it's the middle of winter. It's like 20 degrees out, covered in snow. And a friend of mine's like, "Hey man, have you looked at their website?" And I looked at their website. Or I looked at maybe like 5RC, whatever was putting the record out, and the description for the record was like, Zach Hill makes Brian Chippendale look like a pussy.
Whoa!
Like that was the selling point on like they were selling their record, and I was just like, and my friend, this girl had called me, and she's like, "Are you gonna stand for that?"
Already somebody instigating and shit.
Yeah, and I was like, "No."
Yeah.
And that I feel
fuck
like
that though, right? Like,
so we went. So they played at this mill or whatever in this like warehouse, and so me and Brian packed up the van. And it was snowy. It was 20 degrees, and we set up. We drove over there, set up outside in the snow, and we just like waited. We waited in the car because it was fucking freezing. And I remember like, literally, I took all my clothes off except for like underwear, and I just sat out in the fucking snow in 20 degrees. We waited for them to end, and when everyone came out, we like played a set outside. Just like fucked. We just improvised weird shit.
Never heard of this.
And Hella was so bummed. Like, they're just like really good vibes guys. And they hadn't personally written that. I think their label had written that. I don't even know if they knew about it.
Who the fuck wrote something like that?
I don't know.
What?
I mean, they're just. I don't even care. They're just hyping up.
Yeah.
It's just a weird point to try to make, though.
Yeah,
like,
especially because they're friends of ours.
Right.
And I was just like, but
this'll work. Done.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. So and they got super bummed. They were like really hurt that we had turned it into like a
war.
Like a war.
Yeah,
and I was like, well, you guys started it. I mean, maybe you didn't know. And then we had these email battles. Me and Spencer. Not me and Zach. Zach was fine.
Yeah.
Zach is mellow. Spencer was like pissed. And I remember him writing like, you guys turn you know, you guys turned music into gym class or something. And I was just like, well, you guys turned fucking music into math class, dude. Like, what? You know, what? Like,
walked into that one.
Whatever school you want.
Yeah.
And so I've always kind of been like that. Like, yeah, we're not math rock. We're more like gym rock.
That's so funny, though. No,
but then we patched it up with those guys.
Right.
It's fine.
I love those guys.
It was a blip.
That's
but
funny.
that was the coldest show ever. But tonight was pretty damn cold.
Might have gotten up there. What I want to get into your background as a drummer, because it's something that I admittedly don't know too much about. So when did you start playing drums? How did you start playing drums? Are you self-taught? Or how did that work?
Totally self-taught.
Right.
Which seems most people could probably like, you'd look at me and be like, yeah, that guy's self-taught.
I don't know about that, man.
I guess maybe. I don't know. I can't tell. I mean, my style is so funny. I feel like a lot of people are like, what I fear people think about me, I'll say like almost like, is that not that I'm a one-trick pony, but I have a specific style and I play within that style.
Yeah.
And I have my limitations.
Right.
Which is true. But a lot of times I'm like, but also a lot of the people who are saying that aren't playing next to like a bassist with like 4,000 watts
with a
shit.
wall of speakers.
I'm like,
right.
I play the way I play specifically to like be heard through this. And it's not like during practice he like turns down and we like, you know, it's just like, it's all the time.
Right.
It's just this blasting fucking shit. So and we've been a band for 20 years. So like so much of my style has come from just trying to be heard through this wall of sound.
Sure.
And I feel like my strength as a drummer. So that was my formative time. So it's funny because like if you put me on like a quieter kit with a hi-hat or whatever, I'm like, whoa, I can actually kind of play the drums like, I can do all kinds of weird little things. Yeah, I can do it.
Be on time a little bit.
Yeah, check it out. 5, 8, 19, 16th time. But I started, so I'm 43, fucking old. And let's see, I started in 89. So I would have been.
You do not look 43, by the way.
Yeah.
Well,
I'm just gonna give that
some days
token comment that everybody.
So I had a child 2 months ago. My first kid. Me and my wife had a kid.
A real baby.
A real baby.
Like a real
So like we flew in last night, and last night was like the first night I got a night of sleep in like 2 months. So I was really curious. I'm like, okay, what does sleep deprivation do to being able to play a show? And I feel okay. You know, I feel like we pulled it off, but I was like, this is gonna be rough. But anyway, we figured it out. You can still have a kid and still kind of rock out.
Yeah.
It works. But I started years and years and years ago, 88 or 89. I had it was like a group of 4 friends. So I was born in 73, so I would have been like, let's see, 83, 17
years old.
It was like high school.
Sure. It's about when I started playing too.
And me and was it? Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
It's a good time to start.
Same age.
Yeah.
Whenever all my friends were doing really well doing that, so I was like, I gotta start doing this. Like, I'm gonna be left behind. Like,
right.
I'm gonna have to start playing
get
music.
in on this.
I'm tired of looking at these cats, do this shit. So
I didn't even know. I didn't have any friends who played music. I had a couple. We were like in the suburbs of Philadelphia. That's like where I grew up, and there was like
not a music scene there. Or?
No music scene.
Really?
There was some hardcore. I knew some hardcore guys.
Bands, yeah.
Mostly it was like, I don't know
it's
what.
Typically what happens in the suburbs,
it was like
right?
Bowling scene.
Bowling is a bigger bowling scene than music. That's hilarious.
And everyone plays sports at my school. Like, I played soccer and stuff. Like that was, and I made art. I'm really into art. But so it was me and my friend, and my friend's, this is such a long story, but my friend's dad got remarried, and his new wife had a son and his best friend. So like these two groups of 2 dudes came together suddenly and started like hanging out, and those 2 guys played bass and they played guitar, and they were like, let's start a band. So me and my best friend both wanted to sing, and then we drew straws and I lost. So I got stuck playing the drums. And for the first like 2 or 3 weeks, we didn't have any drums. We had drumsticks. And so like they played guitar, bass, and sung, and I had a boot.
Oh yeah.
I literally like played like a leather boot with a drumstick. So we have recordings, and it's like
on a boot.
And then
you couldn't find a bucket.
I didn't even think about a bucket. It never even occurred to me. That's like how like suburban I was.
A boot will work.
I don't know. You play a boot and maybe a cowboy hat. I don't know. It was what, like, why not a bucket? Like never even. I don't know. It's funny. Not even to this day have I wondered why I didn't just go get a bucket.
I don't know. They're
I
probably
played a
everywhere.
boot.
Probably one under the sink.
I know.
Yeah.
It was right there.
Maybe I think there just was a boot in the middle of the room where we practiced. And
But
I played
that's
a boot.
funny that you
Yeah.
got it out of a losing.
I
basically.
lost.
You lost.
Yeah, I lost, and I became a drummer, and it was the best loss.
Best loss you've
I've
ever- yeah.
done, yeah. And then I think maybe within a year, and probably more closer, we like, and this is it's probably shouldn't talk about this because I'm incriminating myself, but we kind of pulled this like scam off. So we had this other friend. We had like a friend we'd fallen out with, and he had this electronic drum set, and he had loaned it to somebody. And it was like really rich kids. So it was like two kids that didn't really care about their stuff.
Right.
But so we went to the one kid and we were like, hey, Alex wants his drum set back. And he was like, oh, okay, here, man, here, take it. So we took it and we just took it to our house. Like we never gave it back to Alex. Like me and Alex weren't even friends anymore. I just went and got the drum set. And then so for a year I had this electronic drum set, like, and I had programmable thing on it, but I had no idea how to program it. So it was like laser sounds.
Right.
So we have these tapes. We have these tapes that are just like boop 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 boop. And then I think a year after that, I saved up like $200 and I bought a drum set.
So what point did Lightning Bolt become Lightning Bolt?
So that was all like 88 or something. So Lightning Bolt. So then I went to college in '91. Rhode Island School of Design, this art school in Rhode Island, and Gibson showed up 2 years later. So I don't know, whatever, 93.
Okay.
So in maybe 93, I don't know, we had jammed a little bit, but nothing very serious happened. But in 94, we started jamming a little more seriously, just me and him. And we played our first show in December of 1994 as a two-piece. And then we went for a year and a half with a singer, and then we went back to a two-piece. So December 94 was our first show, which I have on a cassette tape like
Really?
this. Yeah.
Damn,
and it's kind of cool. It's kind of good.
Yeah.
It was like we had a song that sounded a lot like The Ruins. If
Okay.
you ever listen to Ruins.
Okay. Yeah. I know
Just
that.
like pretty mathy, like tight,
Sure.
mathy, weird, just like like really fast and like angular or something, like
I
quick
see.
turns. And then we had kind of this like dark pondering song, like ringing out bass notes and stuff.
I think what's really important to me about you guys is how weird you are. It always seems like you guys were doing what you wanted to do, even if it came out super fucking weird, because it's how you were expressing yourself. And I've always loved that. And I hope you don't take that the wrong way. But,
No, that's what I'm. I mean, I'm all about like expression. To me is
Sure.
more important than like.
I think it's
professionalism.
really easy, though, as an artist to kind of find yourself, again, throwing yourself in that box that we were talking about earlier and saying, well, maybe I should sound a little more like this, or maybe it should sound a little more like this. So going by that, what is your advice for some cats and some musicians, aspiring musicians that are maybe struggling with that line of wanting to be weird and expressing themselves, but still wanting to have some essence of accessibility?
Yeah, like have an audience. Right?
Sure,
Yeah.
right, because you are making this music, sure, for yourself, but you want it to be ingested, you want people to enjoy it. So what do you do personally as an artist to kind of find the right balance there, if
Yeah.
at all?
I mean, I'm lucky and we're lucky. I feel like we have always just done what's come naturally. But within that, I like accessible stuff. Like I have been jamming I don't know, like I think I was listening to like the new Rihanna album, or not,
Yeah.
it's not new anymore,
Pop.
but it's the year-old Rihanna album. Like I think it's
Yeah.
amazing. I actually was listening to it all the time still for like
Yeah.
a year.
Rihanna's the shit, dude.
It's really good. It's really raw. It's really good. I'm into accessible stuff. So even from the beginning, I've just like just going full throttle, trying to put everything into it, but to have like moments where you like let people, like you let the audience in. I think for me, it's always been that. Like even the reason I have vocals
Right.
is I don't love just like instrumental bands. I've always felt like a disconnect with them, and I feel like having vocals in there, it's just like it's this recognizable element that any person can like grasp. Like oh, there's a voice within this stuff. So for me, the voice has always been like an entry point, even though it's a weird voice. But just like just putting in little like throw a hook in every once in a while, or like some little voice that someone can like latch onto in the chaos.
I see.
Just something to grasp in the chaos, if you can. But for us, it comes natural. So it's hard to give advice because it's like, you should do this because it works, because that's not why we did it. We just did it because we're like our ridiculousness lined up.
I see.
you know, because I like Merzbow, which is like extreme noise, but I also like grew up on Van Halen and I can't get it out of my head or whatever.
Yeah.
So I'm really interested. How meticulous are you guys about like production and recording? I know a lot of the sound for a lot of the records are this kind of like lo-fi, high energy,
raw.
It's just raw as fuck and just chaos. How do you record that? And how? I mean, is that a product of just like meticulous and like?
It's been a struggle. So this newest record, it's funny. The newest record, people are like, it sounds like the most raw and the most live or something. Some people have said maybe not the playing, but the production or
the
something.
drum sound is definitely maybe the most upfront, I'd say.
Maybe.
Or maybe it sounds a little more like a drum set than it has before, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So we've basically from the beginning. So the newest record, we completely switched our whole way of doing stuff. We went into a real studio. And we did like 2 separate rooms, and we did like takes. Everything, like half the stuff is like done like live takes, and most of the drums are all like first, second, or third take of the songs. And Brian, who's like the other Brian is a more careful sort of person than I am. Like went back and like fixed things and tried to like hone it to this specific sound that he was looking for.
Right.
I'm a little more like, I don't know, man, it sounds fucking killer. Let's just go. Let's do something else or whatever. But prior to that, all the records prior to that, we recorded in all sorts of different places. Like Earthly Delights was in our practice space, and we had this guy come over, and we worked with the same guy for all the records except for the new one. The new one is like a separate way. Like we've divorced ourselves from him, and it's like a whole new way of doing stuff. Like,
Nice.
like overdubs and shit. We've never really done any of that. So all the early stuff is like I want to play in the studio because that's where we wrote the song, or I want to play in our practice space because that's where we wrote the songs and that's where we feel comfortable because it's like in my house or in the warehouse where I was living. So we've always gone for like the most important thing is like to just get into a place where you can just play and it just sounds awesome while you play. And whatever you can capture out of that is good enough. And now we've switched it to it's just like, let's go into a studio where you're going to play at like 80 or 85% of your capacity, but then you can fuck with it after the fact to make it sonically sound good.
Sure.
Well,
so we actually switched. We had there's like a division where the old stuff was like a little more weird, like a little more fucked up, sounded a little more wrong, and had like energy through the roof, and then the new one's like a little more like sonically interesting.
I see.
Yeah.
That's fucking interesting.
So it's interesting. I'm not sold on either. I'm like,
right.
because the old stuff was like literally. I think what was it on Hyper Magic Mountain, whatever that record came out, but some of those songs we recorded like there's a song Mega Ghost, which is one of my favorites, which we played tonight.
Yes.
We recorded that like 23 times or something.
Shit.
And it's not because we fucked up. It's because the guy we were recording with, because we were doing it in this like raw, weird way. Like he was behind some drywall with like recording like a DAT tape or something, you know? And like live mixing, and he couldn't hear anything.
Yeah.
Because so we recorded it 23 times because he was live mixing
As
every single
each
one.
take, yeah. Oh.
Yeah, and he didn't get her right till like the 23rd time.
Oh man! So you're just exhausted. Probably
So
by
we're
the end
just
of
like playing these amazing takes and just like, oh man, sorry, the kick drum didn't come through that time.
Oh, Jesus Christ.
So we finally were just like, let's just try.
We're
And there's this killer studio. There's a studio called Machines of Magnets in Providence. It's like where Battles has recorded his last couple records.
Nice.
And anyway, I'm like both guys, Keith and Seth, who run it, are just the awesomest guys. Seth's like a really, really good friend, and so there's this place that's just really comfortable for us now. So we're trying it that way.
Fuck yeah, dude. Listen,
Well,
dude, I don't want to keep you too long. I know we're gonna go see Liars. I don't want to miss that set.
Liars. We know what it sounds like.
We do.
It sounds like a lie.
If you're down, if you're down to go a little bit longer, I'm fine.
Let's go a little longer.
Okay, sure.
Well, I just want to say the beautiful thing about the music is that it translates well live, or vice versa too. Like you can listen to a Lightning Bolt album and get a good idea of how you sound live. But of course, nothing matches seeing you guys live. Like today, I got fucking swept into the pit, and it was
I didn't know it was gonna happen. I was like, oh shit. Well, let me get to the side. Too old for this.
Yeah, and I was there.
Here it goes.
Yeah, I was watching you guys. It felt like the Lightning Bolt album.
What did it sound like though? I mean, we didn't bring a sound person. Gibson was using just like I look at you like 40 practice amps piled up. It's just like the weirdest shit.
Yeah, it sounded good. You made the right call. You raised the bass up in the beginning, and I think it was the right call. The bass
you turned the kick up.
Yeah. All right. Because I was like the sound guy. I was like, oh, so you ever heard us before? And he's like, no. I'm like, can you maybe can you listen to a track? And he's like, well, it's kind of loud here to try to listen to a track. And I'm like,
well, so are we. So that's a reference.
All right. Well, then just try to like turn it really loud and then like make the vocals like in the mix. That's all I ever tell people.
It sounded great. No,
that's cool.
It sounded really fucking good. I wonder what made you kick or ditch the hi-hats?
Yeah. I ditched the hi-hats because I have like a couple pedals that I use. I got like a loop pedal for my vocals.
Do you feel the loss of that? Are you like okay with it? No,
I'm so happy. Yeah, I don't miss it at all. Also, so I ditched it for two reasons. One, because I have a couple pedals there that I fuck with my left foot. So my left foot's kind of busy. But I also felt, originally I was like, lightning bolt, because the hi-hat can like do that muted, you close it and you're getting this muted sound. And I was just like, there is no place in lightning bolt for a muted sound.
Hi-hat, yeah.
Like, so it's just full on. So I just didn't want that, just that little bit of the sound of control.
Yeah.
I wanted like no sound of control.
In the first band I was in, where we were basically just trying to rip you guys off. That's I can relate. I was like, we're pretty much just trying to rip off Lightning Bolt.
It's funny. I feel like
trying our hardest to.
Well, that's good.
Can you write a bass riff that just overdrive, and then I'll just try my best to play over it, and just simplifying the fuck out of what you guys doing in an insulting way, just a shitty, awful way. 16 years old, I didn't know what I was doing, but I could totally relate to knowing like, how am I supposed to use this? Like, this doesn't work with what you're doing so. I get it, and if anything, that's kind of comforting for me.
Yeah.
So, sorry about trying to rip you off, by the way.
No, that's fine. We're talking about that. I mean, I talk about that with people a lot. I mean, there aren't that many bands. I feel like maybe bands start in that place and then they go somewhere else.
Sure.
And that happens with everything. I mean, we started off as like maybe a Ruins rip-off band, and like there was this awesome band called Godhead Silo back in the day, which was a drum and bass band.
Mm-hmm.
We probably were just ripping those two bands off, but then you graduate to your own thing after a while. I mean, some bands don't, and then they sort of pitter away or whatever. Or some bands don't, and they actually become more famous than the bands they're ripping off. Like, you never know.
Do you have what are some influences that you're pulling from now? Or what are some things that you're listening to? Or?
I mean, these days, this year, so Gibson's been really busy. Gibson has a video game that just came out. This, like, crazy game called Thumper.
I did not know that.
Yeah, it just got released with, the Sony has a new, like, VR headset thing.
Yeah. The
PSVR?
Right?
Yeah, and his game was one of the 10, like...
what the fuck?
One of the 10 games on the sample disc.
I did not know that.
So, yeah, that dude's just, like... I don't know. His game is just through the roof.
Whoa.
It's crazy.
Wow. Well, now I gotta get the PSVR now.
Yeah, it's called Thumper.
Thumper.
It's
cool.
It's like you're like a beetle on a track, and it's kind of like rhythmic.
How do you make a VR game? I guess there's a question for him.
So he used to work for Harmonix, which made like Rock Band.
Of course.
So he worked for them for years. So Gibson's always been like the stable guy who's got a job, and I'm always like the guy that's trying to like draw some weird shit, and sell it to like whoever, and never having money. But so he has skill. He just has like video game chops. So he took one programmer from that company, and the two of them made this game. And they just happened to finish it right when that Sony platform was coming out, and happened to meet some people. It was like amazing timing, which is crazy because it took him like 6 years to make the game. It just happened to come out.
Wow.
Nice.
But anyway, so this past year, he's been doing a lot of that. And then I do solo stuff too. So I've just been like just jamming a ton by myself. What was the fucking question?
I don't know.
What we're talking about.
I have no idea.
I guess you were just asking about how do you make a VR game. You're like,
oh, well, yeah.
But prior to that, there was some other...
There was definitely a question that went into that.
But anyway, so this year...
Oh, who are your influences?
Right.
Who are my
Who you been jamming?
Yeah.
Yep.
Right, so Lightning Bolt for the past year, I feel like we haven't been doing that much. Since the record came out, we did a bunch of touring, and then we just like took a break while he worked on that. And so I've been doing solo stuff, mostly just piling up like recorded cassette tapes that no one will ever hear. But and my influences for the solo stuff is a little different. It's like it's more like dance stuff, but not like I love, I don't know, I feel like things have been in rotation for the last like year or two. It's been like, have you ever heard Vibes Cartel?
No.
It's a Jamaican dude, or Popcon. They're both like dance hall guys.
Cool. Never
so
heard
like
of either
dance
one.
hall stuff.
I see.
And like stuff that I feel like is, I mean, not that stuff's very raw, but there's like a rawness to it. It's just like kick drum heavy, like raw low tones.
Huh. I wouldn't have expected that. That's cool to hear.
Yeah, so I don't know. So my influences come in more from that side of stuff than like I haven't listened to that much rock stuff or metal stuff. Because I think for me, it's like I'm always going to be a spaz. I'm always going to play fast and aggressive. Right. So I need to pull in things from like other places that then I can turn into fast and aggressive shit or something.
I understand that.
So it's like, yeah, like Rihanna, like fucking Sia, and then whatever her name is, and I don't know, and then like dance hall, and then.
That's super cool, man.
So in terms of Lightning Bolt, like, do you have any like further out plans?
Yeah.
I mean, we're gonna start this. Yeah, we want to start like writing new stuff.
Yeah, of course.
Which is it's like too far coming. Like we haven't written a song in the last year just because of timing.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Move my mic like 10 feet from my face. So yeah, we want to. I mean, we're psyched. We've been practicing, like just jamming, and it's fun. So yeah, we want to start working on new stuff.
Amazing.
Cool. It's awesome that you're able to. I mean, I know 20 years that puts a strain on a lot of people, like who are creating art together and stuff like that.
It's harder to find. I mean, the thing about playing by myself, I'm in this like place. Like when I play by myself, it's like I have oscillator vocal loops and like oscillator loops, and it's like I control it and I can make it. It sounds like if Lightning Bolt was like really broken, it's like Lightning Bolt's broken little cousin. Like it's reduce the bass to like 2 tones, and then some weird like arpeggios with this arpeggiator.
It's like electric shock. Yeah, not
so like for me, it's like I can write like 3 songs a day when I practice solo, but with Lightning Bolt, it's harder.
Right.
Because we're just like, this is awesome. We're like, oh wait, this sounds like this thing we did fucking 15 years ago. Yeah. So it's definitely like it's harder to find new territory, because there is like a realm where we like stomp around like the world that we live in. So trying to like find the new edges of that world is harder.
Difficult, yeah, sure.
But we're enthusiastic to do it. So,
well, dude, for what it's worth, everything that you guys have put out has meant so much to me and continues to. So I think you're always going to have people that are enthusiastic about whatever you guys put out.
Awesome.
Even if it completely changes and goes into a territory that is unfamiliar to you guys. So if there's any part of you that feels like maybe
dad rock,
should we do that? Please do it. Bring back yacht rock. Please do it.
Yacht rock.
Do it.
I mean, I feel like we did a lot of touring when the last album came out, and like we're at the top of our game.
Yeah.
I feel like it feels like physically. I don't know. Tonight was like more of a one-off, but like when we're like in it, I feel like.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm 43, but I actually feel like fucking superhuman when I play or whatever. So I'm like. There's not an issue of like, and we're both really creative. Like we have a lot of ideas.
Beautiful.
So there's no issues of any of that. I mean, the issues are only just like, can these 2 people
make something together?
Like work together still.
Sure.
So that's the challenge.
It's like you're in your prime. That's fucking amazing.
Yeah, it feels great, man.
Thank you for doing this, man. Thank you for sitting with us. Thank you for playing here. Thank you for being in town.
Oh yeah.
Thank you for existing. God damn. I mean, just thank you for thank you for having this music that you put out that's meant so much to me. Yeah. Thank you. And next time you come into town, you guys come back here. Let's do this again and let's go for a little bit longer.
Yeah,
I could talk to you. I could talk to you for forever. I totally could.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate it.
I'm gonna try to figure out which potted plant Bjork's hiding in. See if I can say hi.
Sure. All right, man.